Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So if you check the world markets right now, चाहे आप US का market check कर लो, India market, Indonesian market, Chinese market, extremely bearish. Everywhere there is a news कि अब crash आने वाला है, there is going to be a 10-15% correction, everything is going to get lost. Really bad time to invest. If you take a look at the actions of Mr. Michael Burry, that has been talk of the town, that he has shorted the market with this much $1 billion, this, that. If you go and look at the commentary of mutual fund managers right now, extremely bearish, that everything is overvalued, this, that. Which camp am I on? I am on the bullish camp. I very well believe that the next 1 year is going to be really good for the markets. Why am I saying it? I will help you understand the entire story through 3 simple things. One, I am going to do the technical analysis of Nifty. That's the first key point. Second, I am going to tell you the current reasons for the fall and why there has been widespread panic in the market. How serious are these issues? Then third and finally, I am going to go stock specific and sector specific and help you identify some of the opportunities where things are still okay, somewhat undervalued, and you could consider building your positions in case it fits your portfolio. This is not a recommendation advice. This is a fundamental video. It will help you understand concepts around technicals, macroeconomics, everything combined. So do consider supporting these type of fundamental videos by simply pressing the like button. I know that you haven't done it. So again, a humble request, please press the like button. It would allow these type of videos reach out to more people. So let's kickstart the story. A lot of info will be packed on this particular video. So do watch it a couple of times because you're putting your money on the line. It's a serious thing. So do consider watching this video fully, understand the commentary, understand other person's point of view also. I always encourage all my students to do that. कि भाई मेरी commentary सुन लो, but also understand other people's perspective, get both the contrary opinions, and फिर whatever you feel like you do in the market. Also, I would like to thank our sponsors for today, which is Vested. It is an excellent US stock investing platform. In case you are considering buying some US stocks, and I would be discussing one of the US stocks today that I'm adding more to my portfolio. You could consider using Vested to buy it. It's a wonderful platform which is very easy to operate. In case you're looking for a special discount, you could consider checking the description and comment box. I have put a link. You can use that in order to open your account. Now with that said, let's move on to the main video. So let's kickstart the story. Point number 1, let's pick the technical analysis of Nifty and let me highlight some key points. So point number 1 that you would notice from Nifty analysis is that there have been 2 recent periods of mini bull runs. One period was from here all the way till here. This was almost 24% rise. And then this was the recent period that the markets went up and now they are correcting a little bit. So panic मच गया है, हाहाकार हो गई है, right? So these were the 2 areas where there was a mini bull run, so to say. Now see, fundamentally speaking, from a data point of view, here, this is the year 2022. More specifically, this is from June time period all the way to November time period, right? Now, during this phase, what was happening was that there was a lot of negative news on the macroeconomics. कि inflation का पता नहीं कि कहाँ जाएगा. Lot of negativity was associated on inflation, interest rate, growth had stopped, right? Everyone was predicting a massive recession, hard landing हो जाएगी, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. So there was a lot of negative things associated with the market. Now, on top of that, the earnings or the results of the companies were not that great. This is an extremely important point to understand that till at least mid of 2022 and even the later half of 2022, the results of the companies were not that great. So from a PE point of view or the entire market PE point of view, this period, it was a significantly higher PE period compared to this period. This is an important point if you try to understand the market fundamentally. अगर आपको ये चीज समझ में नहीं आती है and if you're not willing to put your time to understand this basic fact, what you are going to notice is that see, market is standing somewhere here, right? And here, you know, the market corrected. So here in this point 2, the markets are overvalued. No, you have to see the markets in context of its earning. What is the meaning of PE? PE means price to earning. Now, many a times what happens is that the price can go up, but it might not be a problem as long as the earning is going up. So what I'm trying to tell you very simply put is that in this zone, the markets are still undervalued compared to this zone. This is a very critical point for you to understand. Now, why that has started to happen? Well, it has happened because starting of 2023, almost all good companies have started generating very strong results. So that is the story so far, that it is not as if that Nifty is overvalued. The second key point that you can derive from the technical analysis of Nifty is that if you study this sideways period, so sideways means that market stays like this in a particular range only, right? So this is theoretically a sideways period, what we are still witnessing. So this period started from when? So if you look at it, this started from October, and if you check the markets now, then the market from October of 2021, the markets have given only 3.49% results. In case you are more interested कि भाई market overvalued है, is it undervalued, this, that, what is happening, should I panic, should I not panic? See, to cut the long story short, I don't think that the markets are overvalued by any stretch of the imagination as of now. Yes, it is consolidating. There is some profit booking that is coming. FIIs have stopped buying in bulk as of now. So all those basic changes are happening. It's not as if that, you need to start panicking and, बिल्कुल हाथ पांव फूल गए and, we are not going to buy anything. So yeah, please be a little bit patient. Depending on your portfolio, you should still be making moves. This is still a net buyer's market. Okay, so now comes the second key thing कि यार अच्छा, then if that is the case, then why are markets falling? It has already fallen by 3-4%. Okay, so first and foremost, 3-4% की fall is not considered to be like, bearish market, right? So please don't start panicking with 3-4% fall. I am started getting messages कि यार HDFC तो तबाह हो गया, right? I mean, it has been done away with. कुछ नहीं growth होगी. HDFC is just done. It is falling and falling since that time I have bought. So okay, here is the chart for HDFC. Tell me how much has it fallen by? If you check it on like 1 month basis, 6 months basis, 1 year basis, how much has it fallen by? Now, if you start panicking so much with just like 3-4-5% on good stocks, then you cannot buy any stocks, right? So please be a little bit sensible. The more worrisome fact is, and this is a point that I keep on explaining over and over again on several of my videos, that in case the market rallies, it goes up by let's say 10% in a month, you will have a much harder time buying into the market after a month. You will always continue to believe कि यार अब गिरेगा मार्केट में तब खरीदूंगा, right? Then you will wait for another month. It might go up by 15-20%. Then you will never end up buying. So people lose more money just waiting for a correction rather than losing money in the correction itself. So it is always sensible to understand some immutable truths about investing. See, no one can guess what is going to happen in the market next, especially in the short term. Mid-term, long term, you can make some predictions, make some bets. But short term में, if anyone is giving you commentary कि अगले 2 quarters में होने वाला है, they are just fooling you, right? I am just telling it to you point blank. It is almost impossible to make a prediction what is going to happen next. Yes, there is always some major triggers that could happen. For example, if there is a COVID fall, that's a major trigger. उसके बाद there can be a certain reaction to the market. Similarly, if an interest rate cut has happened significantly and it is very clear indication that interest rate cut will happen, then again that's a major event. Similarly, festive season is coming. So you can adjust your portfolio, try to make a little bit of guessing game here and there, but net immutable truth, that is the word of the day today, and let me know what does that mean. The immutable truth is that no one in the short term can guess where the market is going, but you can do long term predictions by understanding these core issues. So let me help you understand 5 or 6 core issues in literally 2.5 minutes. See, few of the reasons why markets are falling as of now. Number one reason is that there is a kind of an inverse relationship between oil prices and the stock market, that whenever the oil prices increase, the Indian stock market falls. Why is that? Because India has a massive dependence on oil imports. We import a lot of oil. Oil is the energy source that moves our economy in a way. So in case oil prices go up, it can slow down the projections of growth in India. And as a result, the stock market falls. Now see, no one can predict what the oil prices would be. Also, another important point here is that right now you might be noticing this chart. Yeah, oil prices are increasing. It has started to go up. So, khatam, stock market, that's the end. Do you guys realize that how many times oil prices have risen in the past? It's not as if that stock market permanently falls, right? I mean, it's a cycle. It will go up, it will come down. Neither you can guess when the oil prices are going to go up, neither I can guess. So don't worry too much about the fact that oil prices ho rahi hain, this, that. Yes, there will be some type of short-term news play that is being played out, and that is contributing to one of the reasons why the Indian market is falling. So ये तो हो गया पहला issue. Second key thing, that you know what, interest rate पे commentary आ गई है from the US, that right now they are sitting at like roughly 6.5, 7%, and they can increase this interest rate also. Okay, very good. Now how much are they going to increase it by? तो मान लो like बहुत ज़्यादा, if they increase it, they might increase it to like say 8%. But if you consider the top line versus bottom line here, then look at this chart. This is the interest rate chart of the US. where is the direction likely to be more? Is it going to get cut more or is it going to go up more from this point? The most likely scenario, if you take like a 12-month view, is very simple, that we are roughly at 6%. Most likely we are going to find a new base of around 3%. That's cutting the interest rate by half. कुछ भी problem आती है, the only option left with the US government, with the Indian government right now is very simple, very, very simple. इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ चुके हैं, इंटरेस्ट रेट काट दो, स्टॉक मार्केट विल गो अप एंड दे आर गोइंग टू डू दैट. आई एम 99.99% श्योर अबाउट दिस थिंग, दैट दिस थिंग इज गोइंग टू प्ले आउट एटलीस्ट till the year 2024, when major elections are going to happen in India, major elections are going to happen in the US. It is unlikely that the market is going to correct by 30%. Yes, it can keep falling by 10% से गिर जाएगा, right? But your baseline is settled. But the chances of market going up by 20% is much, much higher compared to the markets getting crushed by 20%. Okay, then comes the third point, which is around inflation. I had done an entire video. You guys can watch it. But very quick commentary on inflation is, let's see guys, inflation is the rate of change of prices. For example, if the price goes from 100 to 106, that's a rate of change of 6%. Now, if it again goes up by plus 6 here, now is that a rate of change of 6%? The answer is no, it will be like 5 point something percent, right? Now, if it again goes up by 6, then it is going to be how much? It is going to be 4 point something or 5%, right? So the point is that inflation anyways will come down. It might not come down for the next 3 months, but it will come down after 6 months, 9 months. If you have enough holding power in the market, you are going to make crazy amount of money. Now, what has happened is that all these three things or these three macro factors have come together. Very recently, the oil price or crude price has gone up. Interest rate का announcement हो गया US में. On top of that, inflation data, RBI itself said कि हमसे नहीं हो रहा inflation control, right? So from that perspective, what has happened is that the market has reacted negatively to this news. Now comes the fourth point, and this is a kind of an X factor, that situation in China looks bad. Now, is it really bad? I will make another video on this topic. But what data is coming? Well, it's China, so no data will come. But okay, on a more serious note, the data is coming that Evergrande has filed for bankruptcy, this, that. Okay, so is it like new news? I had made a video 1 year ago on this particular topic. So it's not as if that China growth is slowing down. Why? China is an $18 trillion economy. Of course, its growth is going to slow down. That is not a point to be concerned about. China's economy got badly hurt more in 2022. Why? Because their existing business, call it like whatever that इन्होंने COVID फैला दिया था, this, that. So therefore countries did not want to buy from Chinese and all this stuff was there. No doubt about that. Lot of backlash against China. But additional problem from China has not happened in 2023. So yes, the Chinese growth rate will slow because of the fact that it's a $18 trillion economy. It needs time to reboot its economy, move to high-end manufacturing sector, all that stuff. So it will take time, no doubt about that. But it's not as if कि इसकी वजह से भी गिर रहा है market, right? Okay, this is just a news that is coming in. Now, what is happening more, according to me, is that a lot of rebalancing is happening. Now, the markets almost touched 20,000 and uske baad there was a profit booking that was sensible also, that now if the market has gone from 15,500 to almost 20,000, some profit booking is going to come. In fact, I did a lot of profit booking in that market. I make all these announcements in my member community also. In case you want to learn about stock markets fundamentally, do consider joining my course. It will give you more confidence. It's a money making course, and if you are actually investing decent amount of capital, then having a fundamental understanding, taking time to learn can really change your outlook towards investing. So I hope this point is clear. Now covering the final point here, that the future outlook looks bad. No, it does not look bad per se. A future ka, there is no like timeline, 10 year, 20 year, all that stuff. Debt is a major concern. I have already spoken quite extensively about it. But at least if you look at 1 year, 1.5 year viewpoint, things do not look out of control. A lot of correction has already happened. Markets are not overvalued. The future outlook is uncertain, right? Why? Because of the bond market issue that is happening. But the impact of bond market on equity market right now is going to be limited, especially given the fact that interest rate cut can be instituted any single day. So from that particular perspective, I don't think that there are fundamental reasons to be worried कि यार 30% 40% correction आ सकता है. Very, very unlikely chance that that is going to happen. But yes, a 30-40% up move can happen Yes, there is a much higher likelihood of that happening. So now let's quickly touch upon that which of the sectors are really good at this stage. Now I've been hearing a lot of commentary from market experts who say, you know what, auto ancillary, very, very good, pharma, very, very good. But guess what? Every single mutual fund manager, every single large investor is saying this exact same thing. Now, if they are saying this exact same thing, sitting sometime in August end, guess what? They would have done with their portfolio already. उन्हें भर के खरीद लिए होंगे पहले pharma भी, auto ancillary भी, all this stuff. So it's your call whether you want to bet on that. Now, I'm not saying that these sectors will not go up. They very well might. But I feel that, you know what? I will go with the strategy that I know. I will bet with undervalued good players. That is what my strategy is. I will pick good opportunistic plays here and I will invest in the market accordingly. Just to tell you very, very quickly about my portfolio. Now, if you want, I'll make a separate video discussing some part from my portfolio. So do comment below in case you would want me to make that video. But just to get back to topic, what I'm trying to outline is that don't just simply go and believe whatever the market overall is believing. Because if you just take bets that the overall market is also taking, the chances of you making money on that is going to be really less. But just to make our discussion slightly more analytical on this part 3, where I will discuss some stocks, some industries, let me go point by point. And let us first and foremost take a look at this particular chart. This shows the last 1 year return of top performing indices in India. For example, realty sector, right? This is performed, this has given a 20% run up. What about pharma? Again, roughly 20% run up. Auto has given 20% run up. Banks pid gaye. In fact, IT has been crushed. It must be in negative. So now comes the natural question, okay, which out of these sectors should we consider buying? Especially given the fact that Diwali season is coming, festive season is coming. So should we continue to buy sectors like these, right, which have already given a run up? Or should we try to invest in undervalued sectors like Nifty Bank ho gaya, ya fir IT stocks ho gaye? What is it that we should be doing? So now there are 2 points that you need to understand. So point number 1 is that, see, if you take an overarching Nifty viewpoint, and I'm showing it to you again, we are somewhere around 19,200 and अब गिर गुरा भी जाएगा यहाँ से Nifty, so it will fall to like 18,800. That is what I am thinking. I do not think that Nifty is going to go below this level. That is point 1. Of course, anything can happen. I cannot write it on a stamp paper and give you, but at least macro data, if we study, it is unlikely that Nifty is going to fall below this level. The more likelihood from this stage is that we will start doing that journey from 19,200 all the way to 21,500. So this is roughly a 10-12% jump in index. See, this 10-12% jump in index cannot come. It is highly, highly unlikely that it can come without having banks do a rally from this point and without IT, because these are underweight sectors. It cannot happen that way, that, you know, not all the other sectors are growing, right? And by bank and IT have done some kind of pop and bad things, that they are the ones who will not grow at all, right? They will just be punished forever. No, that is not going to happen. So therefore, it is very, very likely, as per my understanding, that these 2 sectors are going to do well. There is no problem there, right? So this is the overarching viewpoint. If you study Nifty from 19,200 level, as it goes to 21,500 levels. Now you could be of the contrary opinion कि भाई हम तो Michael Burry के camp में हैं. Markets are going to go. They are going to die forever. Nothing is going to happen. This, that. If you guys want, then I'll make a video on Michael Burry. But it took Michael Burry 3-year prediction. That 2008 crash, for what he is known for, that he made a lot of money. He had predicted that in 2005. And it took 3 years for that entire shot to play out. Right? So for 3 years, he continued to lose money. So it was a big problem for him. And if the market would have corrected 1 year later, by that time, he would have gone bankrupt. So his strategy is very, very dangerous. So I will not support that. What I will tell you from a data point of view is that, see, 70 to 80% of the time, the markets are either bullish or in a sideways range. They are not bearish. Bearish only happens 20% times. So please think, right? There is a 4 times more chances of you being right about being bullish rather than being bearish. So that is the basic that you need to understand, that markets are designed to go up, especially during an election season, or at least around the election season. Please understand that fundamental point. So, okay, so in terms of industries, I'm bullish on banks, I'm bullish on IT, I'm bullish on consumer durables. Consumer durables, you need to be a little bit more strategic in terms of the type of consumer durable you're buying. For example, one example here could be of TTK Prestige. Now, TTK Prestige, if you understand the entire story, the type of products it's trying to sell, those are low range to mid range type of products. They are not catered towards premium market. Now, if you study the numbers for the stock, you will see that the stock is doing fairly okay in terms of revenues. but the profits haven't gone up. Now, why is that? Simply because of the fact that the customer base or its target customer base are not affluent customers. Now, the Indian market is getting something called as premiumized. Yahan pe, people are spending money on luxury, Mercedes, Apple, iPhone, this, that. Rich people, right? So there is more income inequality that is being exacerbated in India as of now. That is a problem. That is a problem worldwide. जो घर खरीद रहे हैं उनके 4-4, 5-5 घर हैं. People who are unable to buy houses, they are just struggling, right? Sub 50 lakh houses, 50 lakh से नीचे वाले ticket price जिसमें होता है house में, they are the people who are buying the least amount of houses now. Why? Because they are entirely dependent on home loan. But rich people, they can buy literally very, very easily from that perspective. So Indian market is getting premiumized. This is a key trend that is playing out. In fact, I am designing my portfolio accordingly, especially when it comes to small caps. Again, I will outline all my strategies, all my details on the member community section. If you are a serious learner, do consider joining it. I give almost daily commentary, which is fundamentally driven. So anyways, coming to TTK Prestige, what you will notice is that, see, their revenues are growing, no problem, but their profit margins are shrinking. Why? Because they can't price their product very high. They are trying to do it with one of the sub-brands in that category, but unfortunately, it is not working out for them as of now. They have not been able to amp up the sales. So, बहुत सारी problems चल रही हैं from that angle. Does it make TTK Prestige a bad stock? The short answer is no. It's a wonderful stock. It's just that it is going to take longer for recovery. So, unless you have 1 to 2 year holding period on this stock, expecting a massive run up on this stock is going to be a bad idea. Now consider this or flip this with something like Whirlpool. Right now, Whirlpool has also received the same fate, right, as TTK Prestige and a bunch of other different consumer durable companies, so to say. And here also you will notice a similar trend. Here, revenues is growing, but profits are shrinking. Why is that? Now here what has happened is that, see, Whirlpool's customer segment, if you do the segmenting, TTK Prestige, what are they doing, right? They are selling cookers, right? That is a cooker, right? And when it comes to Whirlpool, what are they selling? They are selling washing machine, they are selling ACs. So slightly more affluent customer base. But see, here is the problem, right? That when it comes to lower segment demand, there has been a demand shrinkage, that the demand hasn't really returned. Here the thing has been that these products have been sold at a discount, a massive discount. यहाँ पे भी discount दिया होगा. I'm not saying that discount would not have happened at all in TTK Prestige. It would have definitely happened. But see, here the demand is not returning. Here, this was a temporary discount problem. Think from this perspective that if you bought a washing machine on a discount 1 year back, will you buy a washing machine again? You will give it a 1-2 year rest, all that stuff. So 2020 mein, I had explained you the entire dynamics in my previous video on consumer durable. How this entire story played out, that there was inventory buildup, and companies like Whirlpool, which make big fridge, TV, ACs, all that stuff, what do? They have to stock it, right? That it's a big bulky item. So बोला कि यार retailer से कि निकालो यार, discount करके निकालो, however you want to sell it. Let's sell it off. That's the end of it. Now all this inventory at a discount was sold somewhere around 2021, 2022. वापस से प्रोडक्शन शुरू हुआ है. It should start reflecting at least from this Diwali season. So if you have that 1 year time period vision with you, then buying something like Whirlpool is better than something like TTK Prestige, at least at this juncture. Okay, so the next stock that I will speak about, and many of you keep on speaking to me about US stock investing. So one stock that I'm buying as of now is Amazon. It's a wonderful stock. Why am I bullish on Amazon? Let me take you through some of the key things. So basically, Amazon has 3 business lines, so to say. It has many business lines, but 3 primary ones. One would be categorized as retail, another would be categorized as cloud, and third could be categorized as AI. Now, what was happening from the year 2021 after the correction started to happen in October of 2021, this thing or this retail business was getting discounted. People thought that Amazon की growth नहीं होगी from the retail business. And retail में there is e-commerce business, there is Prime, Amazon Prime वगैरह and all that. So in this segment, there will be very limited growth. Now, surprisingly, in 2023, this is growing really well for Amazon. This is commanding high profit margin. Now, you might have a question कि यार ऐसा क्या हो गया that retail वाली जो space है for Amazon that is growing. Well, the genius lies in the advertisement revenues for Amazon. So far, there were 2 big players in the retail based advertisement space. One was Google. आप YouTube पे ad देखते हो, Facebook पे ad देखते हो, Instagram पे and all that stuff. So Google and Facebook, they were the 2 leading players when it comes to retail based advertisement. Now on Prime also, now you might be seeing ads. So what has happened is that Amazon has started to take away some market share from Google and Facebook in terms of advertisement revenue. It is expected that by 2030, they will have 12% market share in this industry, which is a fairly big market share. And इस segment में बहुत अच्छी growth आ गई है, which is surprising growth. Cloud was always going really well for Amazon. There had been no issues. And when it comes to AI-based revolution, this is still a story that is gaining shape. No one knows who is going to be the winner, but it looks like that companies like Amazon are going to be primary beneficiaries when it comes to AI-based revolution. So for me, it's a very strong buy. I'm actually buying it. I'll make more announcements of other US stocks that I'm adding to my portfolio. So definitely, if you are looking for a good stock from a slightly longer term perspective, Amazon even now is in very good shape. In fact, most of my community had ended up buying Amazon, all the good US stocks. A while back, we are sitting on 30-40% on all of these stocks as of now. So good growth that has happened there. But still, it looks like that at least for Amazon, there is still a lot of growth left. Now, in case you are still worried about that, yeah, market might fall and I might lose my portfolio, this, that, red dikhega, sab kuch, then you must understand the hedging strategies. Here is a video that I've done on this particular topic. Please go and watch it. Please make notes. This will tell you how to protect your portfolio also. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Now, as a next video, I'll try to make a detailed analysis of 5-6 good stocks and then I will present it to you. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.